And here we are. Look at this. We're live. Look at this. Look at. Oh, and Sam is like first.
She's already here.
She's all geared up.
Oh,
She's geeked up and ready. This.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, we gotta fix some things here. So this is where we chat because sometimes commercials run for people and we don't want them to lose anything amazing. So. Hold on, I'm just gonna fix something here. While talk amongst yourselves. What are y'all doing? Why are you guys not talking all of a sudden?
I don't know.
That's just the. I think it's just the cumulative exhaustion. Yeah.
I'm gonna be eating my pizza while we're streaming, but I'm gonna claim teacher and be like, guys, I haven't eaten today. Like I have to do this.
I did eat.
Mukbang.
All right, well, I think we'll do the countdown now. I think we're good now to start that. So if I can find where yeah, there it is. Okay, countdown time. Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. It is your Friday Eve. It is your intro to the weekend, and somebody is spicy already.
Right?
Look at this. He's saving that for all of us. But first off, we have 6 tonight. This is the most people we've had here on the show, I think, at one time. And special guest, we are in. Look at that pizza being brought in screen.
Oh,
look at that. Like put right next to her too.
Hold on. Can you get
struggling?
But we are international, folks. We have a special guest live from Israel. Gilad Rivas, also known as Real Kratos, if I may say.
Kratos. That's how you pronounce my name, and that's also why I go by Kratos, because it's easier to pronounce. Yeah, how are you guys? It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here. You are.
Yeah. Sure.
I know. We always talk on Twitter and on here. It's so nice to see an actual face.
Yeah, I know, right? It's really nice.
And then, and Gilad, where are you? You're in Israel, but what part of Israel are you in?
I'm located in the south of Israel, the most southern region, in a kibbutz. I live in a kibbutz called Yahel, which is right in the middle of the desert. Like you would think Israel is like Tel Aviv and everything, but no, everything's like an hour away. Luckily I do everything remotely. So,
well, Angelique lives in a desert too. It's called California.
Yes, San Diego.
Oh wait, we lost.
No.
Just so spicy the stream couldn't handle him.
The rapture must have come for the Reverend.
Yeah.
There he is. He's back. Hold up. We'll add him back in. Oh, he just wanted to reposition himself. So why don't you? Okay, so Reverend, why don't you go ahead and?
I don't think you want to start with me.
All right, let's go over here.
I don't think you want to start with me because you might want to save me last. There's probably a reason why you want to save me last. This is all about you tonight.
Over here, Miss Johnson.
Oh, hi, I'm Danielle, and I'm eating pizza. And I am hungry.
We're all jealous.
And I have not eaten lunch at all this week.
And then all the way over on the other side tonight.
I'm Carrie Linden. I go by the Chalk Moju on Twitter. I'm the communication specialist from Liminal Esports and Snowbright Studios. And if you follow me on Twitter, you are probably good at doing the whole time tail spiel, since I know I'm driving you all nuts with all my posts.
You are not at all.
No,
for the
I get
record.
excited every time.
Yeah,
I even put pictures up today from elementary school of myself.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Saw it.
Takes courage.
And then all the way over on the other side, bottom, right below Carrie.
I brought back the Hakuna Matata life sign just for you guys.
Oh, wow.
It's right there. It's hidden. Hello, my name is Angelique Giannis. I am an English teacher in San Diego, California. I am also a NASEP Scholastic Fellow, and I am your resident Among Us EDU expert.
And I'm James O'Hagan. I'm the Director of Digital and Virtual Learning for the Racine Unified School District and host of the Academy of Esports podcast. And again, we kind of just dropped him in, but we'll let Yalad make his a more formal introduction. Yalad, go ahead and introduce yourself to the group again, in case anybody missed it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so my name is Gilad Ravid, Rivas, R-A-V-I-D, by the way, just my last name. I'm an education technologies expert from Israel. I'm a Teach for All alumni. That's how I started. Moved on to develop a lot of courses for teachers, and that's what I do now. I host a lot of workshops for teachers and teach like a gamer. And I was supposed to teach civics in a new school, but the new school apparently won't open. So that was news from today. And I'm very much into everything that's gaming and educational gaming and esports EDU related. I'm trying very much to disseminate the knowledge of the practice here in Israel. Kind of grassroots activity over here, but we do our best.
And what time is it there right now, so the people who are watching this can appreciate this?
It's 2:36, but I was actually late. I'm actually late working on my wife's birthday gift.
Wow.
Yeah, so her birthday is tomorrow. So I'm working on her birthday.
And finally.
So it's my turn. Let me tell you, and you guys need to know why I'm going last, but I'll introduce myself. So everybody, hi, I'm Bradford, otherwise known as EdTech Tinker on Twitter, NASEP Scholastic Fellow. What else am I? I hate doing this long list. I feel like I'm giving a dissertation. I'm the Chief Learning Officer for TechSef. I don't know what else I am, but
conference chair.
I know what else.
I'm the conference chairman for the TCCA and Aldine, Technology Curriculum Conference of Aldine. But today, it's all about James tonight. And let me tell you why, everybody. It's about James tonight. Right. No. There's no soundbite needed. You might want to make a soundbite. Let me explain why. I don't know what the topic of conversation is tonight, but the reason why I have the shades on and I'm drinking my tea, and no, it's not from Long Island because I do know better. I know this is EDU. Is because there have been a couple of episodes, ladies and gentlemen, where he'll say, Brad's not on. Bradford's living his best life. We don't know what's going on. Whatever. Join in, Brad. So, okay. And there have been some days where, yes, I'm tired and I just, I can't get on, and I'm tired. Danielle feels the same way. Sometimes we all feel the same. We're tired, but there have been some days where Bradford's not on. Bradford, why aren't you on? What's going on? What's the problem? What is the problem? And we communicate back and forth. We have our little DM on the side, and all of us in here are to a degree technology specialists, ELA, whatever we are. We do technology, whatever. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm looking for the link in the DM. I am looking under my bed. I am looking in my pocket. I am looking in the closet. I'm looking under my shoe. And I've been doing this for the past couple of weeks. All right. And I know James is pissed at me like, what the hell? Why can't he get on?
Don't assume I'm pissed.
You know, James, that Bradford, come on, you are a technology leader in your district. You don't know where the damn link is. What's going on? So I'm all confused. And while y'all are talking about critical stuff that's going on in esports, I'm like this. I'm on every single Discord channel trying to figure out where the damn link is. I am on NASEP's. I am on different groups that I really don't chat in. I'm even in my own TechSef group. I'm like, where is the link? I'm not understanding. Come to find out, everybody, he never put me in the esports edu group at all.
Not true. I sent you the invite. And you did not.
Conduct cut. No, you didn't. Where?
I'll find it. I will find. Hey, I'm all about timelines. I will find it.
And the rough part is last week Twitter went down. So we normally
it did go down. So I'm gonna give him that. It did go down because we did talk about it did go down. So I'm like, okay, it did go down. But I was still looking under the bed, in my pockets, and everything like that.
I felt so bad.
And he said, yeah, he did. Oh, and we were going through the DMs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we because even Danielle said it's in it's above your message. And I said, I didn't get it. I don't know what's going on. And the conversation was really good. And James like, come on, Bradford, come on, join in. I'm like, I don't know, I can't get in. And then lo and behold, he gave me the link, and there's all this. Welcome, Bradford is finally in. We are excited. I'm like, okay. He's gonna get the business today. So everything I talk about is gonna be about James. So I even shaved my head like him, everybody. I even got the hair like him today.
Hey, we have three bald men on this one tonight.
We do have three bald men.
Three beautiful bald men on this one tonight.
Shiny.
Oh, y'all. So we have a bunch of bald dudes teach at my school, and one time during a pep rally, we had like 5 minutes left. And so the person that was like emceeing was like, and now it's the bald man dance off, and made them all go down to the gym floor. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Look, I know this is what everybody came for tonight. I know. So
somebody just said Dedrum said that they don't see theirs in Discord either, but they think Discord is eating their. He or she hasn't been invited. I don't know what that's about.
Well,
I think you're dismissing people, James. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that is not. Now look, because again, I'm all about timelines and I'm all about like all kinds of stuff. How is it that Danielle got an invite and Carrie got an invite? And
it's because I'm black.
Oh damn.
Do y'all see how red he's getting? See?
Nice sound effect.
Oh my gosh.
Are we going to talk about esports?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we probably should.
Let's talk about esports. I just like to.
So that was awesome. That's just its own highlight right there. We're just going to take that. That's going into the Hall of Fame vault right there. That whole...
Guys, why does James have an emote but Bradford doesn't?
He did give me an emote, Danielle.
No, I haven't seen that.
Wait.
I haven't been able to because we're not at that. We are only affiliate status on my channel.
Yeah, so. you unlock so many at a time.
Yeah. So I would love to give everybody an emote.
How do you unlock more?
You have to get to that
There's
high.
different achievements. Yeah. Different achievements that you have to do.
And with the conversation we're right now, I'm not surprised we're not there tonight already.
No, we're not going to get there.
The high level of what we've got going on tonight, we should be there.
It's as the year progresses. We're in October. We're sort of disintegrating slowly, maybe rapidly, because again, it's only October. But yeah,
I think we're getting better. How's things in Israel though? You said the school's not opening up, Gilad. How's things going there though?
Schools were opened on September 1st and were open for a total of 16 days before they closed again. Right now we're leaving our second quarantine. We're still in quarantine, but we were not going to leave. Basically, there's no plan. There's no. A lot of teachers are basically drowning. I talked to a school principal earlier today. And she told me she talked to an English teacher. She's been teaching for a long time, for like 20 years, and the teacher suddenly told her she gets confused because of the plethora of platforms and tools and everything, and she kind of loses the connection to everything, and she kind of loses her self-worth along the way, which is an interesting note.
Yeah.
Because she feels less effective towards the students because she can't handle all the platforms at once.
Now, I know, for example, that a number of our teachers have been getting together with kids in not esports spaces necessarily, but just in gaming spaces, just trying to find ways to get some kind of play going. Angelique's been doing it with her class, not just as as a recreational time, but also using, for example, Among Us as a teaching tool. Have you seen or found any teachers in Israel who are trying to do kind of the same?
Well, there are a lot. That's the thing. Well, when you look at the spectrum of population, you have the 10% innovators, early adopters, and the 1-2% innovators. So we are the 1-2%. So I'll give you an example. A few months ago, just wrote a Facebook post about keep talking and nobody explodes. Just laughingly said, like, you take two kids that had a fight in recess. You put them in a room together, tell them if they don't disarm the bomb, they're going to get a chore home to do. And I'm telling you, they're going to come out fine, which was kind of funny. People laughed until one teacher commented who actually did something similar with his students. So it kind of happens sporadically. Teachers are really searching for new ways, new pathways to connect with students. But because, as I said, they're so overwhelmed, they're kind of less open, less inclined to new ideas and new concepts, especially when digital game-based learning is a whole new methodology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Angelique, did you hear that? You're the 1 to 2%. You're the bleeding edger. And in fact, and here's the thing too, I mean, it's nice to see that politicians now are following your lead.
Yes.
That was
huge.
Me and AOC, I called her up. I said, you got to play this game. It's going to encourage everyone to vote. And she said, of course, Angelique, but I don't really want you to stream with me because, I'm not that big. So, yeah.
So I'm so hoping that when we play with teachers on Saturday that we'll cause a buzz and get to play with her.
I think there's a lot of people who are trying to do that. I couldn't tell you how many times last night it seemed like everything was getting retweeted. The data was getting out there. She had 460,000.
It was insane.
My entire Twitter feed was just that for 2 solid hours. It was wild.
Not to knock. Oh, keep going.
No, that's it.
I was gonna say not to knock AOC, but I need to show y'all my Halloween costume.
Oh my God! Is this?
Are you gonna be a? Are you? Are
you the pink imposter?
Oh, totally the imposter.
Oh, wow!
It is a 1980s Liz Sport with Velcro in shoulder pads. I am super excited to wear it.
Well, what are you gonna do for the face mask thing?
I have
You just need a motorcycle
cosplay
helmet.
foam. I'm gonna make one.
Okay.
Okay, fancy.
Very
well,
nice.
I'm gonna try it. It might be terrible. Who knows? And then a face shield, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. It was in order of things, I think the number one Twitch streamed thing, and you could hear Garvey just giggling from Washington last night. I mean, I heard it all the way in Wisconsin with the number of streamers they had, but it was Drake and Ninja playing together on a stream. I think there was 672,000 people watching that at one time. And then there was another Ninja stream, I believe. But, to put it in perspective, while it was amazing that 500,000 people were taking time up at one time, we're still talking about a Super Bowl that gets, I think, in the almost 20 million people watching it. In perspective, it was great for the gaming culture. Mm-hmm. I'll say gaming culture. I don't want to say esports culture because this was more just gaming.
This was gaming, yeah.
Which is great, but it's still is not its steps. But when's going to be the first million person?
But I don't want to look at it and dismiss it, because that was huge. To have somebody in that position embrace not only video game playing, but content creation and content creators to that level publicly is a huge step for the gaming world. It's a huge step for the gaming world. I think it goes to show how much growth has happened during COVID for just the acceptance of video games in society and the potential for positive impact and change. This wasn't something that I think we would have seen a year ago. So it's huge. Right, it's huge.
You didn't even have to pay for the game.
Nope.
Or pay Intersloth to stream it.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. So we definitely don't want to underplay that. It's massive impacts, and the fact that it, ultimately it paves the way for us potentially seeing more of this, and seeing some positive change, coming from Capitol Hill in regards to, the games industry. So
it is big to have a politician, especially a high profile politician, step into this space and bring some of the most influential streamers along the way. Though I'm not a huge fan of how Diplo, presents himself sometimes online. He's not what I would want, us to do. But it's still to me is an amazing thing. So
yeah.
So my question is: so we just talked about, no matter where we're at, teachers are overwhelmed, frustrated, too much tech, the admin are just giving them too much stuff. Teachers don't know what's going on. They're stressed. Yeah. But then the shift just happened where here's this game, Among Us. I mean, we know it's not a lot of teachers playing it, but they go to it and it's almost like, ooh, this is a breath of fresh air. The kids are coming in and they're playing it. And the teachers are enjoying it. But at the same time, the teachers are going over here and saying, the tech is too much. So what is making this all the difference? Like where is like the light bulb all of a sudden going, okay, over here it's way too much. The chaos, the curriculum, the tech, the LMS, it's chaos. I'm stressed. I want to quit. But over here, oh my God. And we know it's not 100% of teachers and students in, but it's like, there's something about this Among Us and that I like and the students like, that it's a breath of fresh air. What is so enticing about it, do y'all think? On the teacher side and student side.
Fun.
Yeah.
Play.
I think it's just fun and it's easy. Like the teachers that have reached out to me that say like, my kids won't stop talking about this. I really want to try it, but I don't know what to do. I don't play video games like you. And I say like, just, you don't even need to know how to play. Just tell them we're going to play Among Us. Go.
You can make being bad part of your strategy. Like I was playing with my son and his friends the other night, and they switched me over to a map that I have never played in before, and I couldn't find my location, and I was the imposter, and I used my naivete and lack of wherewithal on that map as like I pushed that as far as I could, and it worked for like 3 kills. So there's fun. There's a lot of ways you can play it. It's one of those situations where as a teacher, you can let your kids drive. If they know, they can give you hints. And, that can be an empowering thing for, a student-teacher relationship or a classroom community for, students to be able to have, some authority in what's being presented.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's about a few things, actually. First of all, it's if we're going to continue the previous theme of teachers being tired, they're a bit tired of all the curriculum being thrown upon them. And as James said, play. And it's a great means to connect, to meet the student, to meet the kid, and allow them to meet amongst themselves in various ways, whether it's just on Discord or just as a game or just as a Zoom activity. It allows them just to connect virtually and through play, and just forget the curriculum for a second. So As far as the tech technological onboarding is a bit difficult with this game, I think. I think a lot of teachers are willing to like bear this one because of its immense popularity. Like usually us experts, we look at like the educational goals, the skills, the curriculum alignment, and then we fit the game. But here, there's an enormous popularity to this game, so there's no reason not to try to harness it, connect.
The hardest thing that we're finding right now with our kids, and this, and I know Travis Witt is in chat here tonight. He's going Big T, so he's in here tonight. He's one of my Scholar Gamer general managers. We're finding, especially in our Discord, the freshmen who are coming in who just don't know how to behave. They're coming from middle school and they haven't done. The thing we're finding right now is that because we aren't able to be together, we can't build our community. Mm-hmm. Our norms are not getting put in place because we don't have that one-on-one time in order to put them all together. That's, I think, where gameplay right now is so important. I almost feel like we should be like 2 days on. And I know it's kind of like for high school, I think they're doing 1 day off, but it's like a catch-up day. But it should almost be like a game day. Like, like don't even have to do catch-up work. And then 2 days on again. These things are helping, I think, to build a classroom community that's really missing right now, too. Yeah. Like I said, we're not seeing it on our esports teams because, again, we can't normalize some of these freshmen who just, they don't have any personal influence. Yeah. They're communicating on Discord, but there's not like that captain to like put a thumb on them or.
But that's if you have a Discord. Like my son's a freshman, and their back to school night, they got thrown into a Zoom meeting with, I think, like 15 to 20 other freshmen and 2 seniors, and it was a joke. Like the school tried, but nobody wanted to talk. Everyone was super uncomfortable. Cameras kept going off. Mics kept getting muted. Had they just been like, okay, every teacher's getting, one lobby, they could have played for 30 minutes. Kids could have had fun. They could have got to know each other. They could have interacted. They could have been some establishment of culture and norms. But you've got to be comfortable enough to do it. Like there's a lot of ways, like, because we're all, I mean, as a parent, I'm complaining about the lack of buy-in that my students experiencing. All my friends that are still teaching are experiencing the same. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've checked in on that are talking about potentially leaving the profession. Like it's the burnout right now is it's like nothing I've ever seen.
I don't know how I'm going to make it. I'm not even teaching. Yeah. I'm just mentoring kids. I am having more online meetings with kids and talking not just to kids about like, hey, take a step back. It's okay. On a virtual program, it's asynchronous and move at your own pace in a lot of ways. So it's like, what I had to say, take the rest of the week off. Like, just don't worry about this stuff and we'll pick up on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. But the parents, too, are just like, they need to all take a break, too. As much.
I agree with you, and I'm not talking to kids. I'm talking to adults at all different levels, and they are freaking out with no plan. And going back to the Among Us, I think what it all boils down to too is, I think there just needs to be a day where a district, I don't care if it's mine, yours, or whoever, where they say, you know what. We know the plan is topsy-turvy. We're just going to leave the classroom teacher alone. We're not going to bother you. Yeah. We're not going to email you. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're just going to have you close the door to your damn room. And whatever you do that day for that 8 hours or 1 hour, I don't care what you do. Just get to know your students. If it's playing a game, if it's, are checking in, you don't even have to turn an assignment in. Just do you. Nobody email, nobody contact. Don't even contact the freaking parent. Just sit in the room and just be a teacher. I think that's what the problem is that there's so many things coming at people all at once that nobody knows what to do. And there's no order. there's no order at all. And that's the part that's really upsetting me. And I don't have the solution. Nobody has a solution. But the only solution that I can think of is, you know what? We just need a day to where stop. Close the door to your classroom and just teach. And don't come in my room. And don't tell me what to do until it's bus dismissal and I dismiss the kids.
Yeah, just build the relationship with these students, because it's a hard year. I think of how many times I've emailed teachers in the last quarter. Like it's been nuts, but that's the only way I have to access them. I can't swing by on pickup. You know, I don't see any teachers during drop off. Like, as parents, we don't have the ability to have any face-to-face conversations with their teachers. And I, you know, thinking back of how many parents I checked in with either at the beginning or the end of the day, just in person, that was huge. Now, I, like, every time I shoot an email off to, you know, one of his teachers, I feel bad because I know what that would have been like for me had those face-to-face interactions not had happened. And instead, if they were all emails, well, that makes my inbox daunting to look at. And we all know that districts send you like 30 emails a day regardless. So now you've got all your district emails that are driving you nuts, and you've got all the parents getting in touch with you because it's the only way they can reach you now, and you've got the students because we're pretending that we're grading like normal. You know, it's hard. Like,
but we're all amazing, right? We are all amazing building. Well, we're all just amazing. Okay. Obviously there's that, you know, Travis Witt, amazing English teacher, right? He had to walk into it. I hope I'm not selling him out too much. He had to walk into an athletic director's office though, and tell him like, this is what we're doing with esports. Like, suck it up. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But then I see Amanda, she's also in chat, and it's not like, you know, she hasn't tried to do things like this, but she's expressed that she runs into those brick walls where these ideas are not acceptable. Mm-hmm. You know, it does. As much as we talk about, hey, we should be doing all these things, there is just some spaces where there are administrators who don't give a damn.
Yeah. I mean, and we've talked about that before, that it's all down to your site. Honestly, because your district could be fine with it, but if your site's not, you're screwed. I mean,
I think that's the point exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, Brad, you said, like, the first sentence you said included the word district, and I think that's key. That's the key word here. The Israeli education system is very intricate. It's too complicated. It's very top heavy. I don't know how the American one is, but what I do learn from here, that it usually effective responses come from a regional educational leadership level, whether it's in a municipality or like someone who's in charge of a few schools. At that level, there's acceptance at that level. That acceptance will trickle down, and you'll encounter less resistance with teachers later on. But when the old guard is still the one in the admiral position, it's kind of hard to steer the ship.
Well, Gilad, let me ask you this too, because my understanding of the Israeli education system is it's not like here in the United States where it's private schools and public schools and they're separated. In Israel, it's the schools can and do have religious relationships, and it's not just it's Orthodox and it's Hasid and it's Reformed, but then you also have the Palestinian schools. Then you also have I mean, it's like I understand there's not just this.
It's actually 4 different education systems. There's the national one. There's the biggest one, the national religious one, which is the same, just religious. There's the Orthodox one, which do not abide to any of core curriculum or anything. For example, one of the biggest resentments in Israel right now, that the Orthodox education system, the yeshivot, they are operating at full capacity. And most of the COVID-19, they are Orthodox, like by far are Orthodox too. So there's also like the democratic schools, and it's called recognized but not official. So it's a very, very large system with many redundancies. So implementing change at a systematic level with anything regarding education technologies is difficult. But when it comes to gaming,
usually see when there are people at key points, it makes it easier.
Mhm.
Well, and if I'm sorry that I didn't quite have my thumb on the Israeli education system. My introduction was very brief, but I can't imagine too even how gameplay is just seen in some of these in religious circles, and then of course you may say, well, esports is okay over here, but it may not be acceptable over here. Gameplay may be acceptable here, it's not acceptable over here. How do you create a national policy or a coherent policy, as you were saying, with all these redundancies, with all these different models within all of that? That just to me seems so daunting.
Okay, so I'll break it down. First of all, yeshivot, ulpanas, which are female Jewish high schools, they are willing to play. They're willing to game. I was contacted by a high school yeshiva yesterday with an admin for a high school yeshiva who wants to do a Rocket League tournament for his students. How do I do that? They're like, help me. Like he knows like I'm into it, so he gave me a call. On a wider scale, there is infrastructure, and in terms of research and development, the science is there. Okay, it's about implementing a game framework, the game mechanics over the R&D infrastructure that already exists within the Ministry of Education. Because there's a lot of policy papers, a lot are relate to gaming. Actually, I just remembered that last month, the R&D issued a really huge publication about gaming, and they titled it like the title was like the whole page. Gaming is the biggest change in education since the invention of writing. So that's something the industry said officially, but that's one arm of it. Okay, right. One wing.
That's still a huge.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Last year there was another wing did like a meetup for teachers in a gaming bar, which was like nice. I came to host a discussion, which was very difficult in a gaming bar. Very, very challenging. So on a systematic level, it takes just budget mainly. Yeah. It's about budget, and the problem is Israel has been running without an official budget for over 18 months due to political reasons.
Okay.
We don't have a budget here in the States either. We just print more.
So because there are no budgets, there's no ability to plan ahead because their existing programs are not being funded,
right?
And all of them are at risk of shutting down. So it's hard to develop new things when you're busy preserving what there is.
Right.
But what is the gaming culture like in Israel in your mind? Like like here, just like South Korea has the gaming lounges, right? They have the PC bangs. Japan has a huge gaming culture, but no real esports culture to speak of. Here in the States, bandwidth is an issue in a lot of areas. Rural areas don't have connection problems. What is it like in Israel, where you are? You're in a kibbutz in the south of the country.
Yeah, I'm in a kibbutz. So let me give you a few figures on top of my head. Okay, so in summer of 2018, Bezek, which is the national phone company, conducted a very large survey, and they found out that Israeli kids during the summer holidays, which is where 8 million people. Okay, so just gather how much gamer kids are there. Played 280 million hours on Fortnite alone. 47% of all kids reported they have played Fortnite. So let me see what are other numbers. 85% said most, if not all, my friends are there. 53% said, 60% said gaming improves my social skills. Here's the kicker, though. 65 of the kids said, I don't share anything gaming related with my parents. 66 parents of the parents surveyed said, I don't understand anything about gaming. So that's kind of also, just 1 second, on a larger level, there are a lot of communities that organize gaming events and esports. It exists. Mm-hmm. But it's still a lot of in the grassroots stage.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think like that disconnect between parents and kids is still pretty common here. Like, we get like annual reports, and I always kind of giggle at the annual reports because they always suggest that parents, one, know what their kids are playing, two, know what the ESRB ratings are for all the games that their kids play, and like knowing parents and knowing like students, that's just not the case. From any sort of personal interaction that I've had, most parents don't play with their kids.
Yeah.
They don't know the games their kids are playing. They don't know the ESRB rating of the games that their kids are engaged with. And they certainly don't know the cultural undertones of the game or, the established norms of the game. So there's a huge disconnect here as well between like adults and the kids that are gaming. And I think a huge bias too from adult gamers towards young gamers.
To the people in chat,
the games themselves.
Sorry, to the people in chat, I apologize that we had us in slow mode. I don't know why we were in slow mode. Thank you for Danielle for like sending multiple messages and Amanda sending multiple that I didn't see because because the data that I was hearing was just amazing. I mean, this is stuff I've not heard before, so I was just all in on it. Sorry, go ahead, Danielle.
So not just the games that you don't necessarily know your kids are playing, it's the communities that you don't know your kids are a part of. And gaming has such a social connection. And that's one of the reasons like playing Among Us is so fun is because you kind of stay in that group and you kind of build that connection, even if you don't know the people necessarily. And the communities that pop up around certain games are not super healthy for adolescents, both mentally and occasionally physically. And that is also something that parents aren't really aware of.
Yeah.
I know I like live in this space and I'm not always super aware. Luckily, my son's dad, they have their own Discord, and that's what my son's friends join, is one that's like moderated basically by his dad. But not every kid has that.
And most kids are in other Discords and other different messaging services, and like it's a big complicated world, and a lot of parents don't understand how tech savvy their children are when it comes to being able to access all of this content, or even what in-game communication systems are allowed within each individual game. I've talked to parents before who thought that just because it was on a phone and it was a mobile game that it was fine and my kid can't talk to other people. And it's like, no, your kid has Kik, your kid has WhatsApp, your kid can talk directly to other people within this little mobile game that they're playing. Like, just because it's a mobile game doesn't mean that it doesn't have your child entrenched 24/7 with the community of gamers that they're playing on with this mobile game.
I will say it is so very important to be aware of those things. And I have the example that I shared with some of you today as to why it is so important. Because my oldest, she has Discord. First of all, she thinks I'm awesome because I run Discord servers. And I don't just run Discord servers. Like, I got Nitro on our school district one. Like, ours is good. And then, I've rearranged ours and I'm working bots and I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So my kids are like, oh, wow, you're cool. It's like, yeah, this is just old server work. I mean, permissions and everything is my jam. What we found recently was, and this is why it is so important that we are so involved, and parents need to be so much more in tune. What Gilad shared is very concerning that, what did you say, 68% of parents didn't have a clue?
66% of parents and 65% of kids.
Didn't have a clue, didn't connect. We had a situation in the last couple of days where a professional team was having direct contact with some of my kids that I was not aware of at one of our high schools. And it wasn't Travis's. I'll just let you know that. It wasn't Travis. He would not let that happen. But these kids, I noticed, started changing their Discord tags. And I got an email today. I was made aware more clearly of it last night. The coach, I asked the coach to have this person email me directly, whoever this CEO of this professional team is. Turns out the CEO is an 18-year-old kid in college. Anybody right now can throw up a professional. We are a professional team. Well, it's like, You know, when we talk with the Milwaukee Bucks 2K team, they're professional. We can look them up, find them online, NBAs, they got drafts, they've got a whole process. You know, that's different.
Right.
This God bless the kids for like bootstrapping up a team, right? It's great that you're doing that. But what pros, and this goes back to this whole thing that pros and gaming companies just, and a lot of times don't get how K-12 operates, and they think they can just do business however the hell they want to do business. They cannot. We have to be the gatekeepers. We have to be the firewall in a lot of these cases, because just as what Gilad was sharing, it doesn't take much for a kid to catch attention of somebody who is has a pro team, directly reach out to them through all of these platforms, and then start negotiating God knows what, a contract, or, like, hey, come practice with us. Hey, we would love to learn more about you. And while I'm not saying that every situation like that is going to turn out awful and bad, you should be in the know. You should know these things. You can't let these things slide. And I sent a very forceful and direct email to this person saying, we are not going to do business with you. We don't. I have no problems with my general managers making arrangements to, have practices or scrims with colleges. I think that's great. Other high schools, fantastic. Hey, middle school kids, yes, let's teach the middle school kids how to do and live in this, work in this space. Pro teams, you cannot directly contact any of our kids in these kind of situations and expect to just have this happen.
No,
so
imagine if that happened in football.
Yeah.
Well, you're in Texas. You tell me what would happen.
First, the football player, like pro football players and even college athletes, are educated about that kind of thing, about what their
allowed
online
to do.
presence and the impact that they can have on kids. That is not something that has been part of the pro gaming scene, is that whole like online and personal professional responsibilities.
But it's hard because when you look at the gaming scene, like as soon as you're 13, you can stream, which means you can essentially monetize. So you've got kids that even before they come into high school, they could be getting monthly checks from YouTube or Twitch. They could have a follower base of several hundred to thousands of people. They could already be getting scouted by organizations and teams, and because it's sort of just been the Wild West for so long and we haven't had this very cohesive education scene up until recently, it's pretty normal for teams to reach out to the child themselves and pitch a contract. It's not new. Like, it's how it's been happening.
Sorry, I'm sorry that I busted up, but Angelique dropped something in the chat because look, okay, so when the person signed their email, I'm just going to type this up really quickly. Yeah. They signed their email as CEO, right?
Yeah.
They signed it literally like this. Not capitalized, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But Angelique goes and drops this in, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, that just made me lose it a little bit today. I'm sorry. So,
well, I think for a fact, what happened should definitely not happen. But we just, from my perspective, I think we should appreciate the fact that it happened in a controlled environment, where there was someone adult that was able to step in. And I think when we are teaching about esports, a lot of it is about entrepreneurship. And being an entrepreneur is also a lot about failing, about falling behind, and is also know when to sense, know when to activate your critical thinking skills, whether it's a hunch or Googling someone, and searching their online presence. Yeah. So it's okay to make mistakes, but I think it's part of the process, and it's about to reflect what we can take from that experience to make sure we grow from it.
Yeah. And it's also...
sorry, Kara, go ahead.
A lot of people don't know a lot of the legalities that go along with teaching, Yeah.
Well,
Like,
Well, in fairness, and here's the thing too. Again, this wasn't just, when I talked earlier about how we have these freshmen who aren't normalized to our culture and our expectations.
yeah.
The person who was the contact for this is a new teacher who was working in a private school last year. Now, again,
okay.
Totally
different than public, though. Like,
different experiences, different, they have different
laws,
rules,
different laws. Yep.
Whatever, right? We don't have that opportunity to have and again, we've started off so fractured this year. Community and culture has been our hardest thing to establish. Right. You can't do community and culture really well over Discord. You could do it. It may take you forever. It's going to take an Angelique Giannis to make it happen, but you can't. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think a lot of like creating community like via online environment is letting go of the control. I think teachers love being in control and love knowing everything. Like I do, for sure. Like I don't ever want to jump into a lesson without knowing what I'm doing. I don't ever want to walk into class without knowing what I'm doing. And it's kind of like when we're online, like we were talking about how so many teachers are feeling overwhelmed with tech and all of the LMS and all of these new things. Like you kind of just got to let go of control for a minute and let the kids like teach you Among Us, right? Like obviously I have a background on that, but like I just kind of let them do their thing, or like something that I've been doing that's been helping engagement, which is not gaming related, but kind of is giving them like free choice. Like, what do you want to do to demonstrate this project? What we're doing. I'm not going to tell
universal
you
design for learning. That's it's universal design for learning. It's a fantastic. It was developed for special education. Give kids multiple pathways of expression.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it's so hard building community.
But we can't. You gotta frame this though, Angelique. You said give up control.
Yeah.
In this instance that I just gave you, imagine if they had given up control though.
Yeah, that's true.
But this is different. I mean, you're not like in one half we're kind of having a conversation about teachers in their classroom, and the other half we're talking about non-educators approaching education system.
Yeah.
And that's totally different. Like as teachers, you don't leave a non-certificated adult alone with a classroom, like no matter how well they know the students. You just legally can't do that. Everybody that's going to be alone with a kid has to have their live scan. Like there's a lot of stuff that we know because we've been in districts, we've been through, training, we've gone through it every time we've switched sites.
I don't know. That's gone out the window now. You got to find a teacher now. You got to find anybody that's breathing now. Sorry. Sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Man, somebody is extra like spicy on everybody tonight. Like he's getting like all the double spice tonight.
Did you guys see my name change? I didn't do that.
That's why I was.
Oh, nice.
It's funny. On Friday, I think it was last Friday, I hosted a Fortnite Friday community game night with my students and another one of the Scholastic Fellows in Arizona. And one of my students, she's my former student, she actually doesn't go to our school anymore, but she reached out to me and she said, "Hey, can I play?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And then she messaged me after, like later that night after we got off stream. And she said, "Miss Giannis, did you share my email with anyone?" And I said, "No." And because they signed up with their emails. And I said, "No, like I just sent you guys a direct email with the matchmaking codes." And she screenshotted and sent me like this email that like a gaming, like the gaming drink people, one of the millions of them, like reached out to her and said like, "Hey, we noticed you like Fortnite. Do you want to be a whatever? We'd love to sponsor you. Yeah, we'd love for you to be an ambassador, blah, 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 blah." And she's like, "It was really weird because they sent me this right after your stream." And now I'm like, how did that happen? Like how?
Magic?
Data mining.
It was just so weird.
There needs to be like NCAA for all that's bad protects our kids. Those recruiting rules protect our students, and it's just not there in
And
Yeah.
it's
And
gonna,
it's up to us to educate our
the Wild
students
West.
to don't fall for this stuff.
it's going to be a hard one to put in place in the gaming industry because that is not what the gaming industry has been built on.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we should, as educators, really be educating, I guess, our students on like, hey, if you get emails like this, like
Absolutely.
it's no bueno. You know?
think as if you run an esports program and if you are not talking to your children about contracts, if you're not talking to them about brand sponsorships, if you're not talking to them about, any of that, you're doing them a disservice, because even if they're not doing it attached to you, if they're gaming at home and they're doing any sort of content creation at home on their own, they're still potentially going to get approached for this, or they're going to approach others for this. And there's definitely a lot of predatory sponsorship opportunities that are available right now for streamers. And again, once you're 13, that's something that you can go and do. So we really need to be like putting that in there.
Hey, Bradford, you catching this?
Just
I
for
am catching
their
this.
safety.
But I'll also say a lot of that, because of COVID, has gone out the window, and it's been a problem in a lot of districts, because since everybody had to go online, everybody is chasing the next tool, chasing the next product, no matter if it's free or whatever, and nobody's thinking about safety. Sorry, like I have the issue with all the Bitmoji stuff that's been going down. Any of the tech tool products have been going down, and nobody's saying, hey, is this safe for students? Oh, well, it's cute. It doesn't matter if it's cute.
Yeah.
Is it going to take student data? Have you talked to, I'm not even asking if you talked to anybody that's in the ed tech space. Have you looked to see if it's COPA, FERPA, CIPA compliant, whatever? Have you done that?
Yeah.
No, I've just seen my friend use it, or I just think it looks safe. It looks very preschoolish, so it can't be bad. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Just because it's online doesn't mean that it's okay. What are you talking about? I mean, I'm not going to say how dumb can you be. I'm not going to say that, but all of that stuff somehow just went out the window, because you had to hurry up and just get something up there because you want to engage the student. Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut you off. So,
cut me off.
So I'd say probably about 2006-ish, 2006, 2007, right as Web 2.0, like the Web 2.0, the read-write web is what they called it. I was a tech director.
You may have to fill our friends in on Web 1.0 and Web 2.0.
That word today, Web 2.0. I haven't
but
heard that.
You have to know what Web 2.0 is.
I don't know what that means.
Good. Well, okay, so it was the idea that, hey, we have, I was a tech director, relatively new tech director. We had, Web 1.0 was static web pages and direct links and all that other stuff. Web 2.0 was things like, microblogging, through Twitter. Actually, Plurk. There was Plurk first, which was the Kevin Rose project, which was like Twitter, and you could see it as a visual timeline. It was really awful. And then there's Twitter, and then it was like, Google Drive, Google Doc. It was just Google Docs when it started, where you could just take a document and type it out and share it with everybody. And there was always this rush to when the next Web 2.0 tool came out, especially when Twitter hit, people were like, oh, I need that code. I need that, that I got to be the first to it. I'm going to be presenting on this at a conference. There was that, fear of missing out kind of thing, but also the drive to be first. Buddy of mine and I, David Jakes, we came up with a fake product, and we called it Spangle. And every now and then we would put out looking for Spangle testers. It's going to be the Web 3.0 tool.
Oh my God.
And people would bite. They would be like, oh, can we get a code? Can we get it? No website, no talking about what it was. It was just, here's Spangle Web 3.0, and they wanted to have it and do it and use it and look at it, and it was like, y'all don't even know what you're doing.
Sold.
Yeah.
But here's my question to you, because I know the situation in Israel. For example, I'll give it about data and privacy, because it all depends on what was the policy about data, about privacy, about internet security as far as the students are concerned prior to Corona, because everything that goes right now is just a continuation of that same policy. So
It
those things
wasn't.
are happening now.
It wasn't a thought, and I'm not saying that for me. I'm just saying that in general, it wasn't a thought. It was okay. Okay, digital citizenship. That's fine. Yeah, teach that. Data. Don't go on that porn site. Don't do that. That's bad. Okay, and keep it moving. It wasn't a thought, and I'm just saying that as an overview. I'm not saying that any of your districts didn't really go thoroughly and do that, or mine didn't. I'm just saying in general, we never thought about it in that way until now, where now all teachers and administrators are now remote, and you're just doing things willy-nilly without a plan. And so now it has become an issue because you don't know what device you're on. You don't know what students are using. Now your kids, parents, any adult are infiltrating on Zoom or Google Meet or walking around literally naked. That's been issues. Like, and you don't have a policy for that. What's the policy for this? How come you didn't make a policy for that? This is new to me too. We didn't talk about this. Well, how come this is going on? How come that's going on? We need to discuss these things because we've never done it. Well, it's your fault because you didn't put this in place. No, it's not my fault because we wanted to talk about these things 5, 6, 7 years ago, but you dismissed it because it wasn't important to you. But now it's important now because we're all remote or we're all going back in these pandemic times, and now you want to address it. And I'm not saying that, I'm not pointing a finger at you, admin, or whoever, but now your eyes are open and you're saying this is a problem and we need to figure out how to address it. Whereas it was optional years ago.
Yeah, we're also seeing technology change at an amazing click right now, especially with everybody on it. You know, the platforms that know they have the world's attention right now are consistently doing updates and patches, and what that does to safety and security. Like, you know, as a gamer, I know that a lot of my friends don't read patch notes. They don't know what's changing in their game, you know, for every update. And I think teachers are the same. You know, what happened with it? Something just changed. As long as everything works, they're fine. And it's not until a couple of weeks later where something happens where it's like, oh my gosh, did you know what they put into the next edition? Like, well, yeah.
I just retweeted you.
June 8th, 2008.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Who used Digo anymore? That's so 3 months ago. I'm on to Spangle. Web 3.0, baby.
What's Digo?
What? Okay. Digo.
Oh,
Digo is that.
It got so bad that he had to get out.
No, the Digo people tried to shut me down. Digo was a online it was an online like bookmarking. Like you could bookmark websites, but then you could like highlight important information on it, and you could like share your highlights to other websites. So it was a
Chrome plugin.
Well, it would be now, but back then it was Firefox, Netscape, or Internet Explorer. So there was no plugins. Oh my God! Let's all sit around as Grandpa Jimmy shares stories of the web from. You know how old my Twitter account is? You can look up your Twitter account age. My Twitter account, I think, started in 2007. I think April 2007. I could have gotten at Jim. I could have gotten at Jim. It was available. Because when I checked the Twitter,
you missed an amazing marketing opportunity.
At Jim could have been it.
Just think of all the ads that you could have right now, and you could have sold off to people.
By the way, I do want to bring up and unfortunately I don't have it now because I left the frigging studio. But Tristan out in Cleveland did post about access and how kids are losing out to libraries. Yeah. And again, I have to salute our Racine Public Library for providing access to our kids. They're in the process right now of making sure that their gaming laptops can go out to my kids in my community so that they can run patches and not have to deal with administrative rights. It's taking a little longer, but it is. I have to thank Racine Public Library for that. And it is.
We're over.
We're way over. And for poor Gilad, it's 3:30 in the morning
wow.
there. So let's do some final thoughts then. I think this is a pretty good place to start. Stop. Yes. So
What's the difference anymore?
I gave my final thought. I'll say my final thought was Racine Public Library. Thank you so much for providing access and reflecting what Tristan said. The CEO of Esports, Danielle Johnson, please.
C3O.
Yeah, the C3O.
C3PO.
I definitely think this is my title. Beware of CEO bros. Anybody can call themselves one.
CEO bros.
That's what I have come to
that
call
It's a good term.
the 22-year-old. Like, I didn't go to college. I don't have a business degree, but I've been a semi-pro, some game I've never heard of player, and now I own a team. I'm like, the team is you. CEO bros. I also esports splaining is
right up there with edusplaining.
Edusplain and esports splaining.
Carrie,
my exit is going to be the thing that you guys are in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you will hear nothing from me anymore. If you haven't checked out Time Tales on Kickstarter, please do.
Oh, wait. Keep talking.
We've made it to 3,500 as of before this started. If you're not familiar with it, it's a coding game that's designed to help girls and LGBTQ plus youth find their way into coding and comfort into the Unity game design platform. It's on Kickstarter. It'll be on for 2 more weeks. We're hoping to hit the 10K mark. We even have a non-binary character in there, so we're doing alternative gender representation. Ari was... couple posts have gone out, and today, if you saw my school picture post, that was our sweet Ari's school picture that we got kicked over from the art department just unexpectedly. We woke up and there it was pretty awesome. So yeah, we would love support. If you've already backed it, thank you guys so much. If you can share it, get the word out there. The other really cool thing is game keys are donatable. So if you want to use it in your class and you've got friends and family that want to back it, they can actually just give us your email information and then we can send you guys game keys. So it's a great way to help support teachers that want to add coding without them having to shell out the money for the game themselves.
All right. Angelique, I'm going to let you talk right now because you're getting called out by Chris Aviles, I think.
Chris just comes into chat an hour and 7 minutes late to make fun of me. He hasn't said anything this whole time.
I got to find it.
Rude.
But what's your final thought? Other than Chris Aviles is rude.
Is real sus.
Oh my god.
Is real sus. Yeah, where's Steve Isaacs? He must be on his way. Oh, you guys just had a stream. That's why. Acceptable.
Where was the raid?
Good point.
Come on. If you're gonna be sus, be sus.
Yeah, pretty sus. My final thoughts are we're halfway through the semester, and I think it's really important to take a break. Even if your admin doesn't approve of you taking a break, I think that the students need a break, and we also need a break, and it's okay to just take a day or a couple days off of school, like school stuff, and your kids still have to come to you, but just do a community building fun day. I think it's changed the vibe of my class by doing that, and I think that that's something that I'm going to incorporate at least once a month, whether people don't like it or like it or not. Like it's made such a difference with my class. So I think kind of like what Bradford was saying, like I wish they would just close the door and let me,
do what you need to do.
Do what I need to do to make it fun for kids and make them enjoy my class. I've had so many kids thank me for giving them assignments that are meaningful to them, that they actually are enjoying. So I think that that's important. Just focus on the community. The kids need to have fun. They need to talk right now. It's not all about the standards, unfortunately. Don't come for me, everybody, but
I think speaking is
agree
a standard.
completely.
Speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Speaking is definitely a standard that
Actually,
we have in language arts.
And if you need, some evidence that you are meeting the standards, I did make a lesson plan activity for Among Us. So feel free
sure did.
Feel free to take it.
I added a Spanish slide.
Oh my God, so good.
Gilad, what are your final thoughts? Gilad, did I say that? Gilad. I'm sorry.
Gilad.
Is it
Gilad.
GIF or GIF? Gilad.
Yeah, so as the international representative here, I think from my perspective, it's quite evident that none of us know what we're doing at this moment, and that's okay. We're all scrambling to find solutions. We're all attempting to reach out and see what works for us. And that is key, what works for us. I think there's an overall global consensus, educational sentiment of somewhat of a failure of leadership at the top brass in case, which kind of leaves them hanging. So I think we just want to echo what Angelique said about just at the end of the day, it's you and your students and your responsibility. And it's about connecting. So let go of this ongoing attempt to meet the grades and hit the targets, because there will be no targets. They won't matter in 10 years from now anyway. You take care of the mental health of your students now.
I apologize, but for the name mispronunciation. I do have to do this though, because I didn't get to do this earlier.
Bada bing, bada boom. Step in the room.
I love it. Thank you.
All right, Reverend.
I don't have a big final thought, but the only thing I do have is that Saturday I will be extremely busy, but I'll be exhausted by the end of the day because of my TCCA Technology Curriculum Conference of Aldine. Hopefully I can share the screen. I don't know if I can share mine.
Huge lineup too. Like looking at the event as a whole. Oh my goodness.
It is.
Hold on,
there's conflict because I believe Danielle and Jim, you at the same time, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like,
it's a lot going on. But if you guys enjoyed the conversation that we had in this 1 hour, this is going to be all day with all of these people that I love very dearly with all of my heart and soul. They will be talking about everything that we've talked about pretty much since we started this chat. They'll just break it down, all the pedagogy of esports. You'll get to hear from each and every one of these fabulous, awesome people, including the bald-headed white dude in the bottom.
Which one? There's two on here tonight.
No, I'm talking about in the picture.
In the picture. Okay.
Conduct cut. But he's gonna be he'll be on and he'll drop his knowledge. But no, I'm really thankful because if it wasn't for the people in this chat, if it wasn't for the people that are going to be presenting, if it wasn't for the people that in TechSep, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm able to do right now. I'm really truly excited. So if you haven't had a chance, and I'll unshare my screen, but if you haven't had a chance to participate, sign up, please go to tccaconference.com. It'll be a great conference. It's not just esports, but since it's esports edu, that's my thing. Mm-hmm. But it'll be a great conference. You won't regret it. And that's all I have for tonight.
All right. And that's all we got. There's for those of you who are not aware, there is a debate going on in about 15 minutes.
Lord Jesus.
Gilad, you don't have to stay up and watch our American president.
You should.
I probably will. Actually.
Yeah, I would. It's probably pure entertainment.
American politics is
I've wanted muted mics since the 2000
But I've heard
election.
the muting is only for like opening segments.
Yeah, the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then the bulk of it is going to be completely unmuted. I was really excited until I got the details, and now I'm like, yeah, screw it. It's going to be a train wreck. So.
I'm so glad I voted already. If you haven't voted, vote. Please do. And that's it for tonight. So thank you everybody for being here. We'll be back. We'll be back. Aguilar, thank you for staying up so late.
Yes.
One more, I got to do it one more time because we don't know when he's going to be back.
Bada bing, bada boom. Mr. Worldwide as I step in the room.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.